Well, it's been a while since I made one of these. That's the first thing that greets you. Some shit electric guitar sound in the Street Fighter theme. And then we get a kazoo. What an arsehole Dave Lowe is. He can't make music for shit. I do actually wonder if he's partially deaf. Anyways, horrible music aside, I decided to check this out on the Amiga 1200. Now, you probably know if you read the other videos, it's the third time I'm doing this now. Look at the speed. Kazoo and electric guitar. Yeah, so now I'm playing this on emulator, so you have to remember there's no zip stick here, just the pathetic cursor keys of modern PC keyboards, which are even worse than PC keyboards from like 20 years ago, which are worse than PC keyboards from 20 years before that, which were mechanical. Anyway, so I was like, I wonder what Street Fighter 2 would run like on the Amiga 1200. 2 megabyte Amiga 1200 as well, because that's the most common spec for normal people. I'm not talking about people who try and run office applications and shit like that on their Amiga. Actually, more memory does help with some creative stuff, but you know what I mean. Most of the Amiga 1200s out there are the same as the ones that got sold, 2 megabytes. CPU a bit buggered, down to 7 megabytes. So yeah, this game seems to be running about, it was more than twice the speed. It was like 3 times the speed. In fact, it's very similar to the Mega Drive Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition on maximum speed. Obviously it can't match the graphics. The sprites are actually not bad. They probably look not too bad if you use the modulator. So, right, so yeah, like I said, oh, there is a slight, well, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's because I'm running on the Amiga 1200, but I am using Kickstart 1.3, where sometimes you'll put the disc in one of the 2 disk drives it supports. It supports one external drive and obviously the built-in drive. And you put the right disc in, you have to press the fire button 2 or 3 times because it checks one disk drive at a time. I know. But yeah, you know, all things considered, if you mess about with the settings on your old Ferguson CRT TV, let's say, not a Trinitron, it'll probably look not too bad. It's not going to look as good as like the Mega Drive version, let alone the SNES version. That don't really matter here. So yeah, so I started playing this game and I was like, wow, this is really fast. And not only that, there's no frame drops as well, so it's not inconsistent, it is just pure fast. So if there is any odd frame or something that's missing here and there, that's down to the emulator capturing the video. So yeah, this was the, I don't know what happened there. I had to use my first credit there. So the first time I played this game, well, I got my arse handed to me in the first opponent, so I did use a credit. But because it was the first opponent, it don't really count. So effectively I finished that with just, well, no credits used. Just like 1 life, I suppose. I don't know how you word it. But yeah, so the hits do register. Oh yeah, I'm playing this with 1 button joystick mode. Because, I don't know, actually, it's probably how most people would have played it. Now the interesting thing with this game is, it actually came out around the time the Amiga 1200 come out in, well, definitely in the UK, which was sort of towards the end of October. Can't remember the exact date now. So it's an interesting thing. I think it was the Google AI, not Gemini, but you know, the AI mode for Google, as in google.com. It's a search page, which is more sophisticated than Gemini. I don't understand. Gemini is written by Google, but yeah, that was actually a thing it said. It might actually be that quite a lot of users, well, not that many, because Commodore didn't make it enough Amiga 1200s. That, you know, there might be people who got an Amiga 1200 and then got Street Fighter 2 and played it like this, and they couldn't really see what all the complaints were about. Well, obviously the music. So I don't really know what to say about that, except it's just, I don't know, it's just, well, the ST version is horrible because they don't use any raster split, so the 16 colours are really naff. But actually, the Master System sprites, I believe, are 8 colours each. So you probably could do something for the ST with the Master System sprites. Anyway, people always talk about Street Fighter 2 is shit, it's the gameplay that's a problem. No, I beg to differ, mate. It's Dave Lowe stroke Uncle Fart's terrible music that's the first problem. Some of the backgrounds, they've got some very dubious palette options that they've selected. So, you know, up in the sky, it's only 2 colours, like cyan and white for the clouds. White. They put a copper chip in there for a good reason, mate. So, anyway, the point is, this is the kind of game that I would play with my friends on the SNES I'm talking about here. None of us bought a SNES until Street Fighter 2, specifically the Street Fighter 2 bundle for the console came out. None of us. Because we weren't 8-year-old little dicks, basically. Yeah, Mario! Isn't he cute? That music is disgusting, mate. I heard better music on 1982 games on the Commodore 60. I heard better music on the ColecoVision, to be brutally honest. And the graphics are so small, titchy and childish. Anyway. But yeah, you know, so we had a SNES. My mate bought a SNES, and I hadn't quite bought one yet. I didn't really like Nintendo back then, which is funny because Popeye and Donkey Kong were 2 of my favourite arcade games in the early to mid 80s. I remember I used to play arcade Popeye in the fish and chip shop, which is a food takeaway if you don't know. People outside Europe, UK, and you know, try and replicate the screens of on Popeye. The stairs, I remember doing the stairs with like pet speed graphics and stuff. But anyway, I never went anywhere. So yeah, we'd all have a laugh, you know. There'd be like 4 or 5 of us playing 2-player games. Whoever lost, pass the joypad to the other person, sort of like that. And from that point of view, from the button mashing Street Fighter 2 brigade, which also goes for Mortal Kombat, this is brilliant because it's so fast, you know, and the hit detection is actually, I don't know what it's like on a Amiga 500, but I'll tell you something, I went and watched a video of the SNES port, and it felt like bullet time after playing this. I was like, this is agonisingly slow. It's even slower than I seem to remember it now. Okay, this is faster than the arcade version as well, don't look as good, sounds worse. But the thing is, even if you did an exact copy of the arcade music, it's nothing special. Which reminds me of Rob Hubbard, you see. The music for Commando in the arcade, there's nothing special about that. But Rob Hubbard made it special because he done a remix. So what you needed is someone with the artistic talent and taste of Rob Hubbard, who was good at the Paula chip, to do remixes of the Street Fighter tunes. Ideally. There is actually a few games on the Amiga that are arcade perfect, but Commando is one. But the music is shit compared to the C64 version. So yeah, if it comes up with that insert disc blah 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 twice, that's the bug. So, because the emulator stops recording once I pause to get the the disc image page up, so I can insert a new disc image. But yeah, that's really my thing about this game. It'd be perfect if you just bought an Amiga 1200 and you went down the car boot sale, gave the bloke £3 or something for 4 discs, I think it was back then. It used to be £1 for a game on like 1 disc, £2 for a game on 2 discs, and then £2.50 for 3 discs, and then £3 for 4 discs, and this crap comes on 4 discs. The other crap didn't work. Couldn't get that to work. It wouldn't even boot. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, that's really my point. You see, because like I said, if you had an Amiga 1200, right, and you just come home Saturday afternoon and you ran this on your 1200, a couple of zip sticks, quite a few beers, maybe other drinks, WKD Blue, stuff like that. That's what you used to drink when you were young. And yeah, that's really the ideal situation. So it's not for people who memorize every combo, analyze this game like a bloody nerd. You can't win if you pick this character because as if they're doing a fucking diploma or a fucking PhD. And they don't have PhDs, they have PhDs, pretty small dicks, those kind of people. So I don't care about their opinion. I don't take life so seriously, mate. Street Fighter is a beat 'em up, and the point of a beat 'em up is to entertain you and your late teen, early 20s mates, whilst having a few beers, some snacks, a couple of zip sticks like I said, and you mash the shit out of each other via the old button mashing method, even on the SNES. None of my mates sat there and like read Super Play magazine to get a guide on how to do this special move or whatever. No, we just mash the buttons. That's man style, mate, not nerd style. That's how you play beat 'em ups. If you're a real man, mash the button. If that's not you, well, I'm sorry, mate. But I've got 3 kids. Yeah, having kids doesn't mean you've got a big dick or a strong dick on it. It just means you've got premature ejaculation and your wife can't. Anyway, let's put the legs akimbo problem of the wife aside. And yeah, I did terrible at this particular bonus stage. It's the worst. I did much better the first time round, but I think what happened was I discovered if you just hammer the fire button without touching any of the movements, you get the rapid kick of Chun-Li, which is actually a useful thing. So it actually took me a minute longer to finish this version of the long play, I suppose you called it. So yeah, that's really my point. It plays on the Amiga 1200 really well, assuming you're not a Street Fighter 2 nerd. I'm not going to get into that. If you are that kind of person, then yeah, for many reasons you wouldn't want this version anyway. But I do think it had something to do with like keyboard and joypad, and I'm like, yeah, how's that going to work? I have enough trouble setting up custom controls on WinUAE. I haven't used the emulator for like 2 years. How did you do this? Yeah, that was on the real Amiga 1000, which don't load shit anymore. But don't worry, mate. I'll be getting external Gotek drive, and all that it needs to load is the Kickstart discs. So I might be able to do like some new stuff, and because it's an external Gotek thingy that just plugs into the disk drive port, I can use it with any Amiga. And if I use it with a 1200, then I can boot from it, from a lot of games. Obviously not games that won't run on Kickstart 3, then you're a bit fucked, because the boot selector is on Kickstart 3. Yeah, so I did run this game on Kickstart 1.3, because I wanted to give it the best chance of working. On the Amiga 1200. But other than that, it's a standard Amiga 1200. So yeah, you do lose some memory if you like load Kickstart from them discs. What was it called? Degrader. I used to use one called Z-Kick. It did seem to work actually. Games that required like workbench to, well, programs, did run on it, but I don't know if it's the other way around. But Relo Kick and other things like that were quite popular back then. But it might actually work with Kickstart 3.0 from your launch day Amiga 1200, which I still got. I need to sort out the drive on it. I have many Amiga 500s that will sacrifice themselves for my 1200. The internal drive I'm talking about. Yeah, this bonus level is a pain in the ass. The best bonus level, I really got fed up with it by then actually, because remember, this is the third time I'm playing the game. Second time I'm playing it, it locked up after about four characters or something. But yeah, if I wanted to play it again, I'd know how to do this. You're better off using the punches. For some reason, don't ask me why. But you also don't get, you know, set on fire. But yeah, see, once I'd worked that out, it's too late. But never mind, it's only a bonus level. I haven't heard the stylophone yet. Rolf Harris stylophone. Is it this one? There's one tune where it sounds like he's used a fucking sample from a stylophone. Because there was this thing, public domain libraries would sell you like discs full of like instruments for Sound Tracker and Pro Tracker obviously, and they were really fucking horrible. And for some reason, you know, people at US Gold, Ocean, they're making hundreds of millions of pounds out of you at the 8-bit and the 16-bit computer games explosion. Well, not so much 16-bit, but you know what I'm talking about. And yet they couldn't be bothered to buy a couple of decent synths, and by that I mean analog synthesizers, like the Yamaha DX7 bullshit. FM synthesis is for losers, mate. It sounds shit, and the people who like it are little shits anyway. So yeah, that's really the thing with this game. The sound is the worst part of this game. I don't think you can turn the music off. You have to have Uncle Fart shitty tunes on the whole time. But actually, it's not too bad on the way it does sound effects and music. The music doesn't cut out too badly. I'm not sure how they did the music on, you know, Tiny Us, the Gradius clone for the Amiga. Because that has more than 4 channels, and yet they got sound effects and music on that game, but I never really thought about it. But sample sequences is the way you'd go, mate. It's that simple, so... So yeah, this is one of the worst backgrounds because the belt has only got like 3 fucking colours. It's really terrible. I've actually made some pictures where you've got a 16 colour background where the copper chip changes the palette every line, you know, a bit like dynamic high res from DigiView Gold or 4.0 if you like, but in low resolution mode, non-interlace, which means it can do it every scan line without breaking a sweat. And then that leaves you 15 colours for your sprites, so, and they look fucking fantastic. Obviously they'd be good enough for an Amiga 1200, so that's all you'd have to do. So I had to use another thing right there. I don't know what happened there. Like I said, I got fixated on doing the rapid kicks thing. I think that actually hurt me, because the first time I beat the game, first time I played it on like 1 credit, I didn't actually know how to do that for quite a while. So, and the thing is, because it's so fast, it is actually a little bit tricky to position yourself in the right place when they're seeing the stars. So I think this is the last one actually. So yeah, I mean, but even so, the sprites are not bad. I mean, obviously I could do them better, but you know, it's the speed of the game, the lack of any delay for the controller input, and imagine how playable it'd be with like a couple of zip sticks with 2 mates. Let alone you playing a 1-player game using the spongy cursor keys on the modern PC keyboard. That's really the revelation. Yeah, I got more points the first time I've done it as well. But yeah, there you go. That's Street Fighter 2. Don't play it on anything other than Amiga 1200 or above. Absolute minimum.